Hello friends, welcome to KSP Academy. We have our academy in YouTube channel. With those who are interested really for fundamental of electrical engineering or electronics engineering, please go through YouTube. In that you can see that KSP space Academy space 2010. In this you can go to the playlist and we can see that different types of subjects I was kept. Please watch the videos if you are really interested. Okay. Now today we are going to discuss the interesting topic is EMF equation of transformer. EMF equation of DC generator, sorry, EMF equation of DC generator or DC motor, whatever it is. Generally, we can tell EMF equation of DC machines, we can say, or DC generator, DC motor. Machine is nothing but either you can say that either motor or generator, does not matter. So today we have to go for the EMF equation. How it's going to happening is that how to write the EMF equations, the derivation parts which are very important for any examinations. What you're going to write it out. So let us take, when you go to EMF equation, let us take a machine. This is a DC machine example, let us say. It's a two-pole machine. This is a one pole, it's a one pole. If it is a four-pole machine, there are four poles. North, south, like that. So in this, we have to write down P is a number of poles. Assumes P is a number of poles. After the DC machine periphery, we have to keep the conductors. So you can write what is Z is nothing but number of conductors. Total number of conductors, or you can say number of conductors in the DC machine, or is total number of conductors. Total number of conductors. Next, flux. Flux is nothing but each pole which is possessing their own flux. So you can write phi is nothing but flux per pole. Flux per pole. Next, we can go for that PZ. Next, N is nothing but speed of machine. Speed of machine in RPM. So the speed of a DC machine, how much the speed is going to rotate per minute? It's nothing but speed. N is the speed of RPM. Next, E is nothing but induced EMF. Induced EMF, or you can say average induced EMF in the DC machine. These are the points which you have to remember before writing the equation. Wherever write P is nothing but number of poles, Z is nothing but number of conductors, phi is the flux per pole, N is the speed of a machine in RPM, E is the induced EMF in the DC machine. So this you need to calculate. So let us, I'll move back to the next page. So I think we know from Faraday's second law. What is the Faraday's second law? What he told Faraday's second law, I think everybody knows. What is Faraday's second law? The EMF induced the conductor is directly proportional to rate of change of flux. Rate of change of flux. So what is it? E is directly proportional to d phi by dt. This is the Faraday second law. Rate of change of flux is nothing but the induced EMF is. So you can say the conductors will cut the flux automatically. The EMF is induced in the conductors. This is the generated EMF or induced EMF in the generator. This is the Faraday's second law. So from this we can write it down. I think we know from this equation E is equal to d phi by dt. Generally you can say that. So in this we can say d phi is nothing but I can take in the DC machine total flux. Total flux. Dt is nothing but time taken to complete one revolution. Complete one revolution. D phi nothing but the, because you want induced EMF in the machine. If you let's take a DC machine, how much induced EMF in this machine? So phi is the total flux in one revolution. Next, time taken to complete one revolution. So let us, if we continue the derivation here, E is equal to, I think d phi is nothing but total flux. Total flux is nothing but, so we need to, conductor will go and cut, there are four poles. Nothing but total flux is nothing but, phi is nothing but flux per pole. Total flux is nothing but what? Here one flux, here one flux, here one flux, here. So if you want to multiply, total flux means number of poles you multiply with flux per each pole. So this what I can write, number of poles into flux per each pole, nothing but total flux in the one revolution. Next, time taken to complete one revolution. So I think we know speed N is equal to what? RPM, revolution per minute. So time taken to complete one revolution is nothing but 60 by n. 60 seconds. So time is seconds. So it is nothing but RPM, revolution per minute. Clear? So time taken to complete one revolution nothing but 60 by n. So this is substitute 60 by n. So if you continue this equation, E is equal to average induced EMF in the machine is P phi n by 60. This is average induced EMF in the DC machine. Let us, we can say, in the one turn, we can say, no problem at all. Next, there are two types of windings in the DC machine that you have to understand before continue this. There are two types of winding. One is called a lap winding. Second one is called a wave winding. There are two types of windings. One is lap winding, another one is wave winding. A lap winding case, a small condition is that number of poles is equal to number of armature parallel paths. Number of poles is equal to number of armature parallel paths. Example, let us say there are winding should be there. There are 1 winding, 2 winding, 3 winding, 4 winding. This is called as parallel path 1, 2, 3, 4. So like this, they are making in the winding session in the lap winding. So let us take, there are 4 poles in the machine. Let us take 4 poles in the machine. They will make it their parallel paths like this. 4 parallel paths if it is 4 poles. This is called parallel path. For wave winding, the number of parallel paths is always is 2. Example, it is a 4 pole machine, it is a 6 pole machine, 7 pole machine. It doesn't matter if it is a winding should be like this. Whatever the number of windings should be there, whatever number of conductors will take place, they are making it only number of armature parallel paths should be 2 only. Let us, so this is the one parallel path, this is one parallel path. There are 2 parallel paths in the wave winding. But in the case of lap winding, it's not like that. How many number of poles will be there? They are keeping that many number of parallel paths. Am I clear? So this is what induced EMF. So next, in the case of lap winding, how much induced EMF will take? Actually, I think the EMF or voltage nothing but they need to conduct in a parallel. Voltage is here. This is the voltage here. So in the case of wave winding, just now we derived the equation. Here, this is the average induced EMF. Let us take, we can say, per turn. Average induced EMF will takes place per turn or per conductor, or we can say that average induced EMF. But total induced EMF is nothing but, we can say, I'll continue this equation. Next page. I think we got E is equal to 5 Zn by 60. So what do you have to write down? Just I'll clear all. What do you got on? E is equal to 5p n by 60. This you got. This is 1 turn. This is total turns. Let us go for, in the case of this winding. Let us take, there are 60 conductors we can take. 60 conductor means what? You can write 4 places. 15 conductors here, 15 conductors here, 15 conductors here, 15 conductors here. Like this you keep. 15, 15, 15 like this. So, but EMF is required for only for 15 conductors because parallel case, the conductor should be same. So we need to calculate for EMF across 15 conductors. So what you can write down? So total conductors by how many number of parallel paths? 4. So nothing but Z by P, how to write it down? Z by P you can write down. So we can say that Z by A we can write down. Number of parallel paths are 4, right? Just you can write down. But in the case of there are 60 conductors, if you make over here, there are 60 conductors. How can write same thing? Here 30, here 30. Here we need to calculate EMF for only 30 conductors because voltage is parallel. So 30 conductors you want, what you have to write down? 60 by 2 you have to do. Nothing but what? Z by, what you can write down? Z by A I can write down. Here also Z by A I can write down. So from this we can say that the total EMF induced is nothing but Z by A should multiply with the given induced EMF. So what can you write here? This is nothing but Z by A. This is the total induced EMF in the DC machine, average induced. So let us all continue this equation clearly. E is equal to, here I should write down 5 Zn by 60 into P by A. This is the equation, general thing. So this is what, how many number of conductors in each parallel path. This is the each conductor, average induced EMF in the conductor. So there are two types. For induced EMF for a lap winding, what you can write down? 5Zn by 60 into what I told you, number of armature parallel paths equal to number of poles. This is going to cancellation in the lap winding. Lap winding formula is 5Zn by 60. In the case of wave winding, what is the formula here? 5Zn by 60. What you can write down? Z by what you can write? A is equal to what? How much? No? So you can write down P. P how much number? No? A is equal to armature parallel path is 2. So what can I write? 5 Zn into P by 6 to the 120. So this is the formula for wave winding. This is a formula for lap winding. So why you got this formula means here you can write down P is equal to A. This is the condition here. A is equal to 2. So for this condition, this is for a lap wave winding induced EMF equation. This is for lap winding. In examination of DC machine, they has to mention the type of winding. According to that, we need to select the induced EMF equation. It's very simple. If you wanted to go for a rough explanation, I'll give that. This you have to understand. The P is the number of poles. The DC machine. Z is the number of conductors. Phi is flux per pole, each pole. Any speed of E is the average induced EMF per conductor. If you want to write down A is equal to number of armature parallel paths. Number of armature parallel paths. This is clear. So according to this, what you can write down? Next, according to Faraday's second law, the induced EMF in the conductor is the rate of change of flux. This is a formula is enough to you to continue. So d phi is nothing but total flux. Total flux is nothing but how many number of poles? 4 poles, example, flux per. So total flux is nothing but number of poles you multiply with each flux per pole. So nothing but P into phi I wrote. This is a time taken to complete one revolution. So 60 by N I wrote. This is the average induced EMF per each conductor or each turn or each conductor, it can say each conductor. So you want total conductors in each parallel paths. Later I told you lap winding, wave winding, the construction should be like this. Number of parallel paths equal to number of poles you have today. Here number of conductors, number of armature parallel paths is equal to 2 always. It's independent of number of poles. Always it is 2. So, but voltage is always parallel to this. So each parallel path, how much voltage will be there? It means each parallel path, how many number of conductors which are possessing. So total conductors by here, there are 4 parallel paths by 4 you have to do. Nothing but Z by A we have to do here. But here also same thing, total number of conductors here, number of parallel paths. So Z by A conductors in each parallel path. So we need to understand here, the concept is clear. Each parallel path, how many number of conductors are there? Z by A conductors. Z by A conductors. So that's what the average induced EMF per conductor should multiply with number of conductors in each parallel path. So total EMF will come. So this is the general format. For a lap winding this is, for wave winding this is. So in this way we can do the questions in examination. I hope it's very clear. If any doubts, please make a comment on the comment box. Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll meet you in the next video, in the next section. Anything else, please make a note in the comment on this.